Yo, hey yo, what up? It's your boy Lavish, and this is Lavish Thoughts TV. Major salute to everybody. We are here with another blog. Man, we gotta talk. I know it's been 3 weeks since y'all seen me. For my subscribers, I'm pretty sure y'all like, yo, where the hell you been at, bro? Had a lot going on right now. A lot of crazy personal stuff going on. But you know, I'm here. I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm in good spirits right now, and we're back to the blogging right now, and you know, we here. You know, so I appreciate y'all. Any new viewers to the channel, just do your boy a favor right here. Just subscribe to the channel, you know what I mean? Show your boy some love. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the topics at hand. So the first thing I want to touch on is this whole Tory Lanez situation. So as y'all know, Tory Lanez is incarcerated right now in a California prison, you know, for the thing that happened with Megan Thee Stallion, right? So the day before, yesterday, it was brought to my attention, and I seen it all over, you know, social media that, you know, he was stabbed up in the prison yard. It was pretty bad. They said his lungs collapsed. He got stabbed all up in his head, his, you know, upper body area and things like that. And somebody that's holding down his page while he's incarcerated, and I'm pretty sure it's probably like either a family member or somebody from his team, is saying that, you know, he's critical but stable, and you know, he's alert, he's up, he's talking, he's laughing. And it looks like, for the most part, he's going to pull through, right? But I don't want to talk about like that too much. The only reason why that I'm bringing up this whole Tory Lanez situation is the Megan Thee Stallion fans, and it's mainly them, right? A lot of the Megan Thee Stallion fans, they're celebrating the fact that this happened to Tory Lanez. Like I said, I was on social media. I was on mainly Facebook, and you know, they talked about this whole Tory Lanez where he got stabbed up, and you know, people are celebrating, saying, yeah, that serves him right, that's good for him, and just praising the fact that this terrible thing happened to him, right? And this goes to show you like how disgusting people are. You know what I mean? You already know how vocal I've been as far as like Megan Thee Stallion and this whole Tory Lanez situation. It's always going to be free Tory for me. He's an innocent man. Megan Thee Stallion is dead wrong for putting that man in the jail and lying on the stand like she did, right? Tory did not shoot Megan. Megan Thee Stallion lied about having sexual relations with Tory Lanez, which there was no reason to even lie about that because we don't care. What we was wondering is whether this man shot you or not. And it proved that you lied about that, but somehow, you know, he got convicted even though his DNA wasn't even on the gun, right? Now, let's just be real. Is Tory Lanez perfect? No. That night that incident happened with Megan Thee Stallion and her friend, Did Tory Lanez do something that he was supposed to do? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. But I know one thing for sure though, he didn't shoot Megan Thee Stallion, and it's been proven. You know, when a lot of her fans is riding hard for her. And it goes back to them celebrating that this happened to him. Now, imagine if the roles were reversed and Megan Thee Stallion was in this situation and Tory Lanez fans started celebrating this bad situation happening to Megan. Do you know the outrage that's going to be out there? Do you see where I'm going with this? If the roles reverse, there's nothing funny about what happened to this man at all. First of all, what was bugging me is the fact of why was he even in a yard? Why is he even in general population in the first place? Now I know, Tory Lanez is not like the biggest celebrity in the world, whatever, and things like that. But nonetheless, he's still a superstar. He's still high ranks. He should have been in PC. He should have been in PC. That's the first thing. So I don't even know why he's even, congregating with other inmates where he should have been by himself. And there's people in that prison that know who he is and want to make a name for themselves. And there's rumors going around, and I see blogs saying that the reason that why Tory Lanez got stabbed up because he started a whole race war in the yard or something like that. And I don't know how true that is, but we know how the California prison system is. There's a lot of racial things going on in those California jails. You got the Mexican mafia, the Norteños, the black gangs, Bloods, Crips, and all this other stuff, and the Aryans. So a lot of the gangs inside that California prisons stick to their own race. So racial wars been happening for a long time in them jails, whatever. Do I think this is the case with Tory Lanez? No. Tory Lanez, for what I understand, has no gang affiliation, whatever. And it doesn't, and just him, race war started, it's just that story just doesn't make sense to me. Whatever. I just feel like, this is just my personal opinion, I feel like the reason why this happens is because, there's somebody in there who wants to get a name, and what better way to get your name by doing something to Tory. And that's just how I feel about him. I'm glad he's okay. I know he has a long recovery ahead of him, and just, to the Megan fans out there that's celebrating this, y'all are dead wrong for that. And there's nothing funny about that, because like I said, if the role was reversed and this was to happen to Megan, and, people started laughing from Tory's side, y'all will be out here tearing stuff up and yelling fake outrage if the roles were reversed. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be clear on something. Me being so harsh on Megan Thee Stallion, my only issue is the fact of you lied on an innocent man. And bro shouldn't even be in jail. Whatever. And it's not fair to the fact that she has to be out here free while an innocent man is rotting in jail, or for her lie. It's crazy. But you know what? It's all good, because at the end of the day, I'm a believer in the Most High, and I believe in karma, and Megan Thee Stallion got some karma heading towards her. It's coming very soon, because at the end of the day, God don't like ugly. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So y'all drop your comments as far as that situation. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. And that topic is out the way. Now, last but not least, P. Diddy trial. It started, and I believe we're on day 2 or day 3, and Cassie has taken a stand. Cassie is Diddy's ex-girl. They was going out for a little while, and we already see that famous video of Diddy beating the hell out of Cassie. Pretty nasty work. Very nasty video. So she took the stand today, and I looked online. I seen the transcripts of what the DA asked and everything, and just looking at all the graphic things that she said about Diddy. And this one thing really made my stomach turn. It really shows how much of a freaky frog P. Diddy is and how nasty that man is. Pretty much during the questioning, right, they was talking about, the whole freak off thing, and, her participating in it, and, things like that. Of course, they're going to ask her all that, because that's key to their defense. So they're asking her these things, and they came to a part where they got to when P. Diddy would have Cassie do sexual acts with the male escorts. This is the part that really messed me up. They said during the questioning, Cassie was saying that Diddy would let the male escorts do sexual acts on Cassie. And when he finished, I mean, pretty much Buster, you know what, he would take the man's, you know, and rub it all over his nipples. When I first saw this, I originally was like, nah, this can't be real. But this is real. It's confirmed. Cassie said that and said that this is what Diddy was alleged was. This is what that man is guilty. I'm sorry. Excuse. Never mind the alleged. This is what she said that he did. Right? Is it something to be surprised of? No. I mean, everybody. I mean, it was pretty obvious that Diddy has some zestiness in him. All the zesty stuff that he got caught doing on camera, the things he would say, like everybody knew Diddy was freaky and zesty. But this right here, ooh, this one right here took the cake. To rub another man's you know what on your chest is nasty work. That is beyond deplorable. That is beyond diabolical. And it wasn't just that. She was saying that, you know, he was beating on her if she even smiled wrong and controlled everything she did. And the reason why, you know, she participated in that because she actually loved him and she wanted to do what she did even though she didn't want to do it, you know. Another thing that bothered me is that the response that people are putting out there. People are saying, well, you know, if all of this was going on, why didn't she just leave? A lot of y'all saying that really don't know what you're talking about, and you're a bunch of idiots because you're saying, why didn't she just leave? We seen the video of her in a hotel. She obviously tried to leave, and Diddy made sure that she didn't leave, and he beat the crap out of her, bro. She was scared. She knew what this man was about. He controlled her. When you're deeply in love with somebody, and you know this person has all these crazy things on them, whatever, you know, it happens. You know, you want to please that person, you want to stick around even though you don't want to, thinking that maybe there'll be a change. And then when you're deep into it, you see how wicked this person is. That's the case with Cassie. You telling, oh, just up and leave. It's not that easy. At certain times, in certain situations, it's not easy to just up and leave. Y'all do realize that. And like I said, she tried to leave. We seen that hotel video. She wasn't able to leave because she was on the floor because Diddy hit her. This case is nasty work. You know, Diddy is really a wild boy, you know, and I'm going to be honest, and, you know, this is just how I feel again. You know, this is not necessarily facts. I believe that Diddy is cooked, but he's not all the way cooked. I feel like there's going to be some charges he's not going to be found guilty on, and I think, you know, there's going to be some charges where he is going to be found guilty. So it's going to be a 50-50. You know, like I said, this is just my personal opinion. I'm not saying this is facts, but this is just for what I'm seeing and, you know, just how I personally feel. So, you know, but Diddy got his karma, and Diddy's going to have to pay the consequences of his actions for all that he did over the years. So, that's it, bro. That is it. So, yeah, that's it. Drop your comments down below. Let me know how you feel about this topic as well. I'm about to get up out of here. Again, thank y'all for tuning in and showing love. New subscribers, y'all already know what y'all got to do. Salute to y'all and have a good night.